Joelton Lutterbach was set to fight Shara Magomedov at UFC Saudi Arabia, but got pulled from the fight after failing a drug test. Today, Joelton released a statement where he admitted to using steroids. Joelton said, "Thank you for all the messages of affection during this difficult time. I actually used juice 3 months ago and had no idea that I would sign with the UFC. I could have hidden in the mountains or gone to Thailand to hide, as many do and are not tested. But I preferred to take the risk and believe I was clean and fit to fight. I signed the contract 3 weeks ago, and so I figured I was in the clear. My case will be analyzed by Combat Sport Anti-Doping. I would like to say sorry to the UFC and to my opponent Shara. I will be frozen and not dead. I will be back soon."
I'm picking Rob in this fight. I think Rob's gonna beat the brakes off this guy. Like maybe from round 2 onwards. I think Rob gets past round 1, he starts to put it on this guy, and he's gonna feel a different beast. But who knows? We'll see.
What would happen if you and Ryan box?
And there's only one way to find out. He has a lot better chances of beating me in a boxing match than he does in a real fight.
You think you'll keep up?
I do. I truly believe in myself. That's how I got to the position I'm in right now. I can box. I can throw hands. I don't think it'd be easy by any means. I do think it's possible I beat him.
If there was anybody you could box for your first boxing match,
Give me an easy fight. Give me Devin Haney. You know, give me an easy.
You think that?
Give me a warm-up fight.
Then I think maybe a year later, you and I fight.
Yeah.
And then boom,
Under the craziest circumstances, middle of Corona.
Middle of the Corona, you fly all the way over and take the fight. And I will have to say, and I'm gonna be honest about this. For one of the first times, of course we get nervous for every fight. But one of the first times, it got to me. Everything around me got to me because, bro, they're playing your viral, like I said, the most viral knockout ever. They're playing that thing every freaking minute on every channel, everywhere, on all the socials, everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this guy's trying to come in on 6 days notice. Now I'm trying to make the mental switch, like, oh, I'm gonna be fighting a different style. You know, he's fast hands, he's good counterpuncher. I'm trying to picture all this, but I'm seeing this every day. And they're asking me every interview, how are you gonna deal with this? And I'm watching your interviews, and I'm gonna baptize this guy. And if it gets like, to me, I'm in the hotel. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, is he gonna baptize me? What the is it? And I'm in a hotel, and I'm super nervous for this, especially that moment before you go to the arena for the fight. And I'm in my room, just like, why the am I so nervous right now? Get it together, get it together. And I would say that was probably one of the most nerve-wracking fights that I had.
But also all the circumstances.
All the circumstances.
Dealing with it was
but moving past, and then moving, and then.
You win this fight against Umar, you think you get the title shot against O'Malley?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how you could really deny me at this point. You know, like coming off of, I finished Song, I 5-0'd Cheeto, and then I 5-0'd Rob with like one arm, you know, with the torn tricep that happened in round 1. So if I go out and beat the guy who's like supposed to be the boogeyman, who, by the way, I'm the boogeyman still of the division. If I can go out and beat the boogeyman that no one else wants to fight, that's an undefeated guy coming from one of the best teams in the world. I mean, that'll be a 4-fight win streak. And I've been in the top 5 for the last like 3-4 years of my career. And the only title shot I got was on a short notice one. So yeah, I think that it's got to be me next.
Another guy you've had some verbal spats with that's been very publicized is Oscar De La Hoya. I think he said you blocked a fight with he and George St. Pierre. Is that where it started from?
Talk about Jake Paul. Like, me and Jake Paul have had whatever.
Right.
You know, Jake Paul's a kid that's out doing his thing. He's trying to make some money, whatever his deal is. Oscar De La Hoya
okay.
is a two-faced lying nut job. Yeah. Me and Oscar are never going to be cool.
Y'all never going to be cool again.
Never, ever.
But were you cool?
Look at anybody who's ever dealt with Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know if that guy literally has anybody who's his real friends. As a human being, completely different. I would go to his fights. I used to promote his fights on my social. I was watching the fight or whatever. Then I go to do Mayweather versus McGregor, and he starts on the fight, yet saying, I would fight McGregor though. I mean, if you look at the history between me and him, you know, I'm going to get into MMA,
right,
pay these guys what they deserve to be paid. No, he didn't. The guys that were involved in that fight all got he didn't pay them more than they ever made in their careers. He didn't even know half the guys' names on the card, and the list goes on and on with that guy.
Do you think Conor ever comes back? Do you think we ever see Conor again?
Like I said, I was never confident before that he would. Like, it didn't shock me when I seen he was out of this fight. So no, I'm still on that same train. He's not ever coming back. And I say the same thing I said before. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I would like to see Conor fight again. I would like to see him do a real training camp with real training partners, push himself hard, go back to the great Conor that he was before. I would love to see that. I think a lot of people would love to see that. It's not happening. If he comes back, it's probably going to be for the only reason I can think is if he's his businesses or something, which is possible too. You know, Mike Tyson blew a ton of money, you know, like it happens, but I don't see it happening. No, still.
Just what do you think about Michael Chandler with this fight being delayed? Is it time for him to give up this dream of fighting Conor McGregor?
100%. You know, we don't really know. We don't really know what happened to Conor McGregor. If he really broke his leg again, it's going to be very hard to see him back on the octagon. And I don't know, man. I think it's tough, you know, because it's easy for me to talk. Maybe if it was me waiting for the Conor fight, maybe I would wait, right? But at the same time, you have to be reasonable. Like in 1 week, 2 weeks, if you don't know what's going on, you better try to get another fight, because Max Chandler is old. He's not young. He cannot afford to lose time, you know. And I don't know if it's a minor injury. Probably they will change. They will change the schedule, because I know it's a tough schedule now to do a pay-per-view. But at the same time, if his leg is broke, he needs to find another fight, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. It seems weird, right? Because he's already waited this long, but I'm with you. Like maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks, a month until you know it. If you don't have a new schedule, like at some point you got to move on, right?
You got to move on. Yeah, and the division right now is, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, a lot of, especially this Chandler situation with McGregor was holding the division a little bit, but I don't know, man. I think he will wait for the fight. And if he waits like 1 or 2 more years, imagine that 1 more year to fight McGregor, this is going to be the trolling of the century, right? Because he's waiting, and I don't really know what McGregor wants of that, you know. If he wants to really compete, if he just wants to get back and do one fight. But one thing is for sure, Michael Chandler should not be waiting that long.
I tend to agree with you on that one. So I hope it works out for him. If it doesn't, if Michael Chandler does move on, is it not the Moicano have his hand in the air and say, hey, what about me? I'm ready?
Chandler doesn't want the smoke, Mike John Morgan. He doesn't want the smoke, but let's see what happens.
No.